What if I told you that the secret to making 2025 your most transformative year lies in a shift, not in your surroundings, not in your circumstances, but in your mindset? It's about focusing inward, not in a selfish way that disregards others, but in a way that strengthens your ability to contribute meaningfully to the world around you. This isn't about retreating into solitude or ignoring the needs of others. It's about preparing yourself, developing your character, and cultivating virtues that align with your truest values. And to guide us, we look to the timeless philosophy of Stoicism. Stoicism, at its core, is about developing personal virtue and wisdom as a path to fulfillment. It teaches us that by focusing on what's within our control, our choices, responses, and attitudes, we gain real freedom and peace of mind. Everything outside of us, external events, other people's actions, even the outcome of our efforts, is beyond our grasp. The power lies in how we respond. It's not about isolating yourself from the world. It's about engaging with it in a way that's calm, clear, and purposeful. Why is this inward focus so revolutionary? Because it shifts your perspective entirely. Instead of being swept up in the chaos of things you can't control, you become anchored in your own values and principles. You're not shaken by every setback or disappointment. Instead, you meet life with resilience and clarity, moving forward with a sense of direction that's deeply rooted in your personal purpose. Take Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and devoted Stoic. His life was a testament to the philosophy he practiced. Despite the immense pressures of ruling an empire, he wrote about the importance of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. He understood that the real battle wasn't against external forces, but within himself, against fear, doubt, and destructive habits. He focused on refining his character so that he could meet the challenges of leadership with integrity and clarity. Focusing inward in this way doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities. On the contrary, it prepares you to fulfill them more effectively. When you act from a place of personal virtue, you're not reacting impulsively or out of fear. Instead, you're deliberate, thoughtful, and aligned with your highest values. This is where true strength lies, not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. As we step into this new year, I encourage you to adopt this Stoic approach. Take the time to reflect on what truly matters to you. Dig deep into your motivations and values. This isn't about withdrawing from the world. It's about engaging with it more meaningfully. Every choice, every action, can become an expression of your values, a step toward a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. This journey of self-discovery is not just about improving yourself. It's about transforming how you show up in the world, making your contributions more impactful. Think about it this way: when you align your actions with your deepest values, you're not just shaping your own life, you're influencing the lives of those around you. A steady, grounded presence has a ripple effect, inspiring others to seek clarity and purpose in their own lives. This isn't about personal success in the traditional sense. It's about creating a legacy of integrity and meaningful impact. But how do you begin this journey inward? It starts with discovering your why. Understanding the reasons behind your actions, the motivations that drive you, and the values that guide your decisions isn't just about setting goals. It's about finding meaning in what you do. For the Stoics, this concept of purpose wasn't tied to external achievements or accolades. It was about aligning with the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, living a life in harmony with your rational nature and the greater good. Knowing your why gives you a compass when the path ahead feels uncertain. It's what keeps you grounded when external pressures threaten to pull you off course. When you're clear on your why, your actions have direction. For instance, if your why is to serve others, it becomes the foundation for every choice you make. Your career, Your relationships, even your daily habits align with this core motivation, creating a sense of coherence and purpose in your life. Uncovering your why begins with introspection. Ask yourself the tough questions. What brings you joy? When do you feel most alive? What values resonate deeply with you? These aren't just abstract musings. They're the foundation for a life that's both meaningful and fulfilling. Your why also defines what you stand for, which sometimes means standing against what you don't. If your core value is honesty, you'll find yourself challenging deceit, not because it's easy, but because it's essential to who you are. Life, of course, will test you. Challenges will arise, and adversity will push you to your limits. But here's where your why becomes your greatest asset. It acts like a lighthouse, guiding you through the storm. Instead of being overwhelmed by the chaos, you find clarity in your purpose. You navigate setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to grow, to realign, and to demonstrate resilience. This focus on your why isn't static. It evolves as you do. The person you are today isn't the same as who you were a year ago or who you'll be a year from now. That's why it's crucial to revisit and refine your why regularly. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about staying true to the essence of what matters to you, even as the details shift and change. As you align your actions with your values, something remarkable happens. Life feels less like a series of disconnected events and more like a purposeful journey. Each decision becomes an opportunity to express your truest self. And while the path may not always be easy, the fulfillment it brings is unmatched. When your actions are guided by integrity and intention, you create a life that's not just successful in the conventional sense, but deeply meaningful. This kind of intentional living has a ripple effect. It inspires others to reflect on their own values, to consider how they might live with greater authenticity. It's not about imposing your beliefs on others. It's about being a quiet, steady example of what's possible. In a world that often prioritizes external markers of success, living by your values is a radical act. It's a statement that integrity matters, that character is more important than appearances, that the substance of a life lived well outweighs the surface. So, as you step into this new chapter, remember that the journey inward isn't about retreating from the world. It's about engaging with it more profoundly. By focusing on what's within your control, your choices, your responses, your character, you unlock a level of freedom and fulfillment that transforms not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Every step you take in alignment with your why creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see, shaping a world that's more grounded, more intentional, and ultimately more compassionate. When you take the time to truly understand your why, something incredible starts to happen. It's like flipping a switch inside you, and suddenly the way you approach your life begins to shift. Motivation no longer feels like a fleeting spark that comes and goes. It becomes a steady flame, fueled by a deeper connection to your values and purpose. Resilience, too, takes on a new dimension. It's no longer just about surviving the hard times, but thriving through them, transforming every challenge into an opportunity to grow stronger. Stoicism teaches us that the source of lasting motivation comes from within. It's not about chasing external rewards, applause, or recognition. Those things, while nice, are fleeting and outside of our control. What truly drives us is the pursuit of virtue, the commitment to live in alignment with our deepest values. When your motivation is grounded in something so fundamental, it becomes unshakable. No setback, no criticism, no external pressure can take it away because it isn't tied to those things in the first place. Think about it this way. A Stoic doesn't strive for excellence because of what they'll gain from it. They strive for it because it's simply the right thing to do. Marcus Aurelius wrote about finding joy in the act of living virtuously, not because it guarantees success or admiration, but because it brings a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. This mindset shifts your perspective entirely. Instead of being fixated on outcomes, you focus on the process, on the small, consistent actions that bring you closer to the person you want to be. This shift is transformative because it frees you from the roller coaster of external validation. Your drive becomes internal, steady, and deeply personal. You no longer need the world to tell you that you're doing well, because you already know it in your heart. That kind of confidence is rare, but it's also incredibly powerful. It allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace, knowing that your worth isn't determined by anyone else's approval. This inner drive also makes you more resilient. Resilience, in the Stoic sense, isn't just about enduring hardship. It's about engaging with it actively, using every obstacle as a chance to practice courage, patience, and wisdom. The Stoics believed that adversity was not only inevitable, but essential for growth. Without challenges, there's no opportunity to develop strength. Without setbacks, there's no room to build perseverance. This isn't to say that adversity is easy or enjoyable, but it's a necessary part of becoming the best version of yourself. Seneca often compared life's challenges to the way fire tempers metal. Just as heat and pressure strengthen steel, so too does adversity shape our character. When you face difficulties with your why in mind, they stop feeling like insurmountable obstacles and start looking more like opportunities to grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me better?" It's a subtle but profound shift, and it changes everything. Imagine you're faced with a failure, something that didn't go the way you planned. Without a strong sense of purpose, it's easy to let that failure define you. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and discouragement. But when your actions are guided by your why, failure becomes less about what went wrong and more about what you can take away from the experience. You start to see failure not as an ending, but as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey toward growth. Resilience isn't about pretending things are fine when they're not. It's about facing the truth head-on and choosing to keep moving forward anyway. It's about finding strength in your principles and trusting that no matter what happens, you have the ability to rise above it. This kind of resilience doesn't just help you survive life's storms, it helps you thrive in them. It gives you the courage to take risks, the determination to keep going, and the wisdom to know that even the hardest moments are temporary. This resilience and inner drive don't just impact you, they ripple outward, touching the lives of those around you. When you live in alignment with your values, people notice. They see the way you handle challenges with grace, the way you stay grounded even in the face of chaos. And whether you realize it or not, you become a source of inspiration. Your actions show others what's possible, encouraging them to reflect on their own values and how they want to show up in the world. This isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about being authentic, consistent, and intentional. It's about leading by example, not with words or commands, but with actions that speak for themselves. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, this kind of grounded presence is a rare and powerful thing. It creates a sense of stability and trust, drawing people toward you and encouraging them to explore their own path. The ripple effect of living with purpose and resilience is profound. It starts with small moments. Someone noticing your calm in a stressful situation, your kindness in a moment of tension, your determination in the face of a setback. Those moments add up, inspiring others to look inward, to question what truly matters to them. And as they begin their own journey of self-discovery, they carry that influence forward, creating a chain reaction of positive change. When you think about it, This is the heart of Stoicism, not just improving yourself, but creating a better world through the example you set. Every time you choose integrity over convenience, every time you choose courage over fear, every time you choose to act with intention instead of impulse, you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. You're showing that it's possible to live a life of meaning and purpose, even in the face of adversity. This kind of leadership doesn't require a title or a platform. It doesn't require recognition or applause. It simply requires you to live in alignment with your values, to be true to your why, and to let your actions speak louder than words. It's about creating a legacy of integrity, not through grand gestures, but through the quiet, consistent choices you make every day. As you continue this journey of self-discovery, remember that it's not just about you, it's about the impact you can have on the people and the world around you. By focusing inward and cultivating your inner strength, you're not withdrawing from life. You're preparing yourself to engage with it more fully, more deeply, and more meaningfully. And that kind of engagement has the power to change everything. As you deepen your connection to your why and align your actions with your values, something extraordinary begins to unfold. Your life takes on a sense of coherence, a rhythm that feels both purposeful and empowering. But the beauty of this journey is that its impact isn't limited to you. The changes you make, the growth you experience, and the strength you cultivate naturally extend outward, creating ripples of influence that touch everyone around you. Think about the way light spreads from a single candle. It doesn't diminish the flame, it expands, illuminating everything in its path. That's what happens when you live with intention. Your focus on self-improvement, guided by your values and grounded in resilience, becomes a source of inspiration for others. And often, this influence begins quietly, in the smallest of moments. It might be the way you handle a difficult situation at work, with calm, clarity, and integrity, or the way you offer kindness and patience to a friend who's struggling. Maybe it's the way you carry yourself, grounded and purposeful, even when life throws unexpected challenges your way. These moments don't go unnoticed. People see them, feel them, and are drawn to them. Your presence becomes a reminder that there's another way to live, one that isn't dictated by fear, chaos, or external pressures. This kind of influence doesn't require perfection. In fact, it's often the moments when you're vulnerable, honest, and human that leave the deepest impact. When you share your struggles, your failures, and the lessons you've learned, you create a space for others to reflect on their own journey. It's not about presenting yourself as someone who has it all figured out. It's about showing that growth is possible, that resilience is attainable, and that living with intention is worth the effort. In the Stoic tradition, influence is not about control or persuasion, it's about leading by example. Marcus Aurelius didn't inspire generations through forceful speeches or dramatic gestures. He did it by living in alignment with his principles, even when it was hard, even when it required sacrifice. His writings, filled with reflections on virtue, courage, and wisdom, weren't meant to impress anyone. They were his personal reminders, his guide to navigating the complexities of life. And yet, those words have resonated across centuries because they reflect a truth that's universal and timeless. This is the ripple effect of intentional living. It starts small, with your own choices, your own growth. But it doesn't stay small. It spreads to your family, your friends, your colleagues, and even to strangers who witness your actions. It creates a chain reaction of introspection and inspiration, encouraging others to question their own values, to explore their own why, and to live with greater authenticity. The beauty of this ripple effect is that it's not something you have to force. It happens naturally as a byproduct of your commitment to self-discovery and alignment. And while you might not always see the impact you're having, trust that it's there. Each time you choose to act with integrity, each time you demonstrate resilience, each time you embody kindness or patience, you're planting seeds of change. Some of those seeds will take root immediately, while others might take years to grow. But make no mistake, they will grow. Living with intention doesn't mean life will suddenly become easy. Challenges will still arise, obstacles will still appear, and there will be moments when the path feels uncertain. But when you're grounded in your why, when your actions align with your values, you're better equipped to navigate those moments with grace and strength. You're not swayed by every setback or distracted by every shiny object. Instead, you move forward with purpose, knowing that even the hardest moments are part of a larger journey. This kind of intentionality isn't just empowering, it's contagious. When you live with clarity and purpose, you give others permission to do the same. You show them that it's possible to step off the treadmill of endless striving, to focus on what truly matters, and to create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. In a world that often prioritizes quick wins and superficial success, this kind of depth is rare and deeply needed. Imagine what could happen if more people embraced this way of living, if communities prioritized integrity over expediency, compassion over competition, and wisdom over impulsivity. The ripple effect of one person living with intention can inspire others to do the same, creating a network of influence that stretches far beyond what any individual could achieve alone. This is the power of Stoic principles in action. It's not about isolating yourself or retreating from the world. It's about engaging with it in a way that uplifts and inspires. The ripple effect also extends to the way we approach relationships. When you live in alignment with your values, you naturally attract people who share those values. Your relationships deepen, not because they're free of conflict or challenge, but because they're built on a foundation of mutual respect and authenticity. You become a source of support and encouragement for those around you, and they, in turn, become a source of inspiration for you. It's a cycle of growth and connection that enriches everyone involved. But perhaps the most profound impact of this ripple effect is the way it shapes the next generation. When children see adults living with intention, embracing resilience, and embodying values like courage, kindness, and integrity, they learn by example. They see what it looks like to live a life of meaning and purpose, and they carry those lessons forward into their own lives. This isn't about preaching or teaching, it's about modeling. It's about showing, through your actions, what's possible. As you continue on this journey of self-focus and intentional living, remember that the ripples you create might reach further than you ever imagined. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up, keep growing, and keep living in alignment with your values. Trust that your efforts matter, even when the results aren't immediately visible. The world doesn't need more people chasing after fleeting success. It needs more people who are grounded in their why, who are committed to growth, and who are willing to lead by example. It needs people like you, people who understand that true change begins within, but doesn't stop there. It radiates outward, touching lives and inspiring transformation in ways that are both profound and enduring. So, as you step into this next chapter, hold on to your why. Let it guide you, anchor you, and remind you of what truly matters. Embrace the challenges as opportunities to grow. Celebrate the small victories as proof of your progress. And trust that the ripples you create, no matter how small they might seem, have the power to make a lasting impact on the world around you. This is the legacy of living with intention. This is the power of a life aligned with purpose, and it all begins with you.